Good morning. Can you think of one thing that you wanted to do in your Christian walk, but you haven't? Recently, I finished reading a great book to my sons, Way of the Warrior Kid. Highly recommend it. Learned a whole lot through this book, but one theme that goes through this book and all the books in the series is discipline equals freedom. That's very convicting for me because discipline doesn't mean just doing something that you want to do, but as a disciple of Christ, we do things on the good days, the bad, and the ugly. Ultimately, in Hebrews, it says, chapter 12, verse 11, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Sounds kind of like freedom. Now, for me, what that means in my day-to-day walk is me stepping up and doing the things that I don't always want to do. That means praying with my family. That means serving not when I feel like it, but when it's needed. That means giving and being generous beyond what's comfortable. The good news is that discipline is not a solo act. It's something that we all do together. And so ultimately, when one of us says, hey, I'm struggling, it's all of our community responsibility to step up and support that person. And when we fall off, to help them come back onto that path. That all being said, if we don't start, it doesn't matter. Starting it's easier said than done. But when I was first learning to drive a ship, a Navy chief said to me, drive it like you stole it. That boldness, right? That's the boldness that we can go and live life by. And there's no reason why we need to wait. We can have that discipline today and start showing that today. Now, there's a quote from Theodore Roosevelt that I think summarizes a lot of this very well. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best, in the end, knows the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. With that being said, I think that it's the responsibility of each and every one of us to think about that one thing that we haven't done, that one thing that we know that we should be doing, and to step up and say, I'm going to start, and I'm going to do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Thank you.